There is new data about underground structures in Giza. So let's watch what the experts say about pyramids.
In relationship to the Kaffa project and the claimed findings on the Giza Plateau and the Kaffa Pyramid regarding these substructural engineering components that go deep into the ground and potentially across the Giza Plateau in general. Like I said, a lot of skepticism, and I was very excited when these claims first came out. That video has since gone extremely viral, even featuring on Joe Rogan. But there's actually been a lot of updates from the team over in Italy. They've now released the 4-hour press conference where they go through all of the details of their findings. You can find the link to that in the description box below. It is currently in Italian, but they are working on getting an English dub version out in the next couple of days. I highly advise all of you go and watch that 4-hour presentation. But if you want to get a kind of too long, didn't read rundown on it, this is what I'm going to give you right now. So just pay attention. And I'm also going to highlight some of the critiques that have been going on and why they may not hold up to scrutiny in the face of the kind of technology that's being deployed here. So there's been a lot of critiques, and I mean a lot of critiques, including coming from the mainstream media and the mainstream academic sector, about direct EM penetration and ground penetrating radar, how there is no ground penetrating radar that can go 2 kilometers into the rock. And that's absolutely right. But that's not what's being claimed by the team. The team is not claiming the SAR technology, which stands for synthetic aperture radar. They're not claiming that SAR is penetrating 2 kilometers of rock. Instead, their method proposes that SAR technology is detecting secondary surface deformations caused by deep mechanical resonance, not direct EM wave reflections, right? So they're picking up on resonances coming from underground structures and measuring that acoustic resonance, that reverberation. It's not penetrating deep into the ground, it's penetrating quite shallow into the ground, which is typical for these systems, picks up on acoustic and reverberatory energy and uses that to model what could be underneath the ground, causing these reverberations. SAR technology already measures surface deformations within millimeter scale precision, using interferometric techniques, also known as INSAR. That's how we monitor earthquake zones and volcanic inflation. If there were deep voids beneath the Giza Plateau, which are resonating, the surface could experience these subtle periodic displacements, like detectable energy that would be picked up through the SAR technology. Through the phase-sensitive Doppler processing. So SAR doesn't actually need to penetrate the rock directly, it just needs to detect surface effects caused by subsurface resonance, right? So anything that's below ground, that's a large structure, especially, and we're going to get into the reasons why the Giza Plateau might be one of the most interesting places in the entire world to find this type of anomalies and structures. So when they're picking up on these reverberations, it's being caused by structures below ground that are transmitting this reverberatory energy up to the surface. The satellite scans the surface, not the depth, and picks up on the reverberation, which it's able to model. It's able to figure out through very, complex computational algorithms, the model of what exactly is reverberating under the ground. Now, the Giza Plateau specifically is geophysically unique. Limestone and granite are known for their acoustic and piezoelectric properties. Limestone and granite make up the majority of the Giza Plateau. Now, granite contains high quartz content, which responds to mechanical stress by generating electric fields, which is also known as piezoelectric effects. Piezoelectric, naturally induced, naturally created electricity. Resonant voids underground within the Giza Plateau could actually stimulate mechanical stress in these piezoelectric geoenergetic rocks, these piezoelectric materials, limestone and granite, which would create these surface-coupled oscillations through the piezoelectric effect. Now, the pyramid's precise geometry could actually enhance wave reflection and standing wave formation, essentially acting as a mechanical amplifier for deep resonance. Are you still following me? In other words, Giza's geology and construction actually create the ideal conditions for deep mechanical resonance to couple into surface level oscillations, which can then be picked up by the SAR technology. So this is actually really interesting because low frequency seismic waves and standing resonant waves would survive potentially for kilometers underneath the ground, depending on the geological structure. So if there are deep voids that are in some way geometrically tuned to natural frequencies like Helmholtz resonators, they could sustain coherent resonant oscillations that transfer energy up to the surface. So the surface response could then be detectable as a consistent micro Doppler shift in the SAR technology. Mechanical resonance propagating through dense rock via piezoelectric coupling bypasses a lot of the issues that a lot of the critiques are trying to come up with in regards to attenuation and scattering, which are problems faced by direct EM waves, but not with the Doppler technology being deployed through the SAR surface level scanning. This is all very, very interesting, and I won't pretend to be a technical wizard on a lot of this. I've been doing research, trying to understand the SAR technology, and I'm listening to the experts that are talking about this in relationship to the way in which this is being deployed on the Giza Plateau. It's very unique. It doesn't seem to be what a lot of the critics are assuming it to be, which is just a basic use of ground-penetrating radar and the assumption from the team that GPR can somehow go 2 kilometers underneath the earth and scan buildings with incredible accuracy. That's not the claim that's being made by the team. It's the subsurface acoustic resonance that's being picked up from these deep structures that is then coming up to the surface and being scanned by the SAR system. Okay. I hope you guys are all with me right now. I know it's a pretty technical and complex thing. I'm trying to get my head around it, but it's not going away. It's not going away. It's not been dismissed automatically right away by these critics. There is a lot more to this than a lot of these people are letting you know about. So SAR measures backscattered electromagnetic waves, not seismic waves. But SAR interferometry, INSAR, that's the abbreviation, INSAR, is already used to detect microscale surface displacements that are caused by earthquakes and tectonic shifts. The Doppler shift SAR detects would come from the surface deformation caused by deep mechanical resonance, not the resonance itself. And Doppler-based SAR is already sensitive enough to detect ground deformation caused by magma chamber inflation, tiny tectonic shifts before earthquakes, and ocean surface currents and even atmospheric pressure waves. So if SAR can detect these subtle mechanical shifts, it's actually plausible that deep resonance-induced surface coupling could register as a Doppler shift, and Doppler-based SAR is sensitive to noise. Yes, a lot of the critics are saying that the Doppler-based SAR is sensitive to noise, picking up artifacts and noise that isn't actually representative of something actionable or real. But consistent periodic signals are far easier to extract from noise using statistical and signal processing techniques. This is where the algorithms come into play, the AI integration, using these new technologies that weren't available in 2022 to do these new studies and analyze data in a completely different way. If the surface